Shalom. We're out here again with another lesson. And today's topic is going to be the chariots, chariots of Israel. And before we start, we'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there pushing this truth, okay? And we're going to start off with Ezekiel.
All right. So Ezekiel 1 and 16. It says, the appearance of the wheels and their work was like...
Hey, Salakia, I wanted to say too, the reason why we're doing the chariots is because it might seem a little crazy to someone who's never heard this before. Like, how is it that the chariots of the Most High are so-called UFOs? It sounds kind of absurd to people because when they think of UFOs, they just think of it as a kind of like green creatures, or it's really like they think of it as a 20th century fictional invention of Esau for his sci-fi movies, man. And that's not what it is, because really Esau got it from the scriptures. And even without the scriptures, if you go into historical artifacts, you see these chariots everywhere. You see them in old fresco paintings. I believe Romania has a coin with the chariots on them.
There's this painting in France. It's of a chariot hovering over a temple, and it said, "Hear, O Israel, the chariot of the Lord."
Oh,
and that was in Paris, and it's dated from when Jake was ruling Europe.
So before the Renaissance, you can find plenty of. I remember I took art history in college, and I remember seeing chariots in some of the paintings. That they showed us.
And then our people in slavery, they say swing low, swing chariot, man.
Yeah,
and that's before planes, man.
Yeah, because sometimes in the scriptures it'll refer to it as a cloud, or as chariots, or even as horses. Sometimes that's not talking about flying horses, or literally a flying cloud. It's talking about the chariots, so-called, or a star, so-called UFOs, an unidentifiable flying object.
Right.
But really it is identifiable, because we know what those are. Those are the chariots of the Most High. All right. Now let's go ahead.
You want to jump straight to 16 or?
No, it's 16.
That's Ezekiel 1 and 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a barrel, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
Yep, and the wheels of the chariots, because they were in the form of a wheel. And it says a wheel in the middle of a wheel. That was a spinning motion it had, And like going back to that coin, that Romania, I believe it's either Romania or Bulgaria, a coin that had the chariot on it. And when you watch the movie Independence Day with Will Smith, there's that scene where all the chariots are like in outer space and they're all coming out. It's the same exact. It's detailed the same exact way as that coin in Romania. So Esau's getting his facts from somewhere. He's not just making it up.
And then he put Jake fighting against him.
Yeah, because the chariots of the Most High, man. Because Yahushua is coming back with chariots.
Right.
With chariots, and he's gonna destroy this place. So that's really why they make these movies, so that when that happens, the people can actually want to fight. That's why they make these movies, to build up their spirit, so that they can actually feel like they can win. But they're not gonna win, man. You can't fight against the chariots. You're gonna get your ass whooped, man.
That's right.
And Esau also does it to demonize Yahushua, and to for you to basically to mock Yahushua, for you not to take, when you see a UFO, for you not to take it serious, Like recently there was a video of Jake recording chariots, and he's basically saying that they're aliens, They're invading, saying that's who you should be shooting at. That's what he was saying to the cops. That's who you should be shooting at. When really, nah, man. If you knew anything, those are always around for our helping, for our aid, not to. Those are the angels, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's for Yasha Allah, man. Not for the heathens, man.
Look at it, brother. Isaiah 68.
I got it right here. This is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 8. Who are these that fly as clouds and as the doves to their windows?
Yeah, that cloud's talking about the chariots once again. Okay, and it said that fly as the doves to their windows, because doves or birds, when you see birds fly, they're always in a V formation. They always fly in a V formation, and that's how the chariots fly when they're together in a V formation. Okay, and you can find plenty of videos of so-called
Jeremiah 10.
I wasn't get that too. 10 and 10
How's
and
it
2.
go?
You know, dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Don't be
brother, get
dismayed at the signs of heaven. We're not dismayed at them, man. We know exactly what it is, man. That gives us faith, man.
It says, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Come on, let's get there real quick.
I got it.
Jeremiah 10 and 2.
Yeah, Jeremiah 10 and 2. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them."
The signs of heaven are referring to the stars, you know, the sun, the moon, and really the chariots. It says for the heathen are dismayed at them, because the heathen don't know what they are, you know.
It's fearful to them.
It's fearful to them because it's not for them. It's for us. Can you keep going on that one? Oh, that was it, bro.
That was it.
Hey, and 2/3 of our people are heathens too. So that's why that Jake in that video, he was bugging out, you know?
Yep, that's why our people, like the brother said, are bugging out because they're in a heathen state of mind and they don't know what the chariots are, but we know what the chariots are, you know? That's why.
Yep, I got one. Revelation 1 and 7, it says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him."
Yep.
Even so, Amen.
That's Yahushua coming back with the chariots, you know, and this is all people shall wail because of him, because it's going to be a fearful thing.
Fearful sight.
Yeah, fearful sight. Imagine just seeing, you know,
Revelation 1 and 7, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. All the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen."
That's talking about Yahushua coming back with the clouds, which is the chariots, the so-called UFOs, you know? And it says all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, because it's going to be a fearful thing when these people see so-called UFOs, you know, coming through the skies, destroying shit.
Led by a
big black man. And a bunch of other so-called big black men following him. You know?
That's right.
That's gonna terrify these people, man.
And then destroying shit too. Not only just to appear, but attack on the, you know, declaring war on the beast.
Yeah.
Which the beast is the EU and NATO. But this is Psalms 104 and 1. "Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot."
Yeah, who maketh the clouds his chariots. You know, those are because a chariot is a vehicle. That's the Most High's vehicles. You know, so-called UFOs. Those are his vehicles.
Basically, when it says clouds, it's basically a nickname for the chariots.
Code name.
Yeah, it's a code name. There you go.
Yeah, it's a code name because this is a secret thing. Because the scriptures say this, he reveals his secrets into the prophets. You know, if it was plain, everybody would know what know what to expect.
That's right.
You know, but it wasn't meant like that. It wasn't meant. This wasn't given to everybody.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, "Who walketh upon the wings of the wind."
Yeah, wings of the wind.
Who maketh his angel spirits his ministers of flaming fire.
Yeah.
Yep. I got to pre on the birds.
Okay. This is for this real quick. Or no?
This is from Luke chapter 21, verse 27, and it says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Yeah, exactly what Revelation 1 and 7 says. You know, that's Yahushua coming back with the chariots.
Right. It's Isaiah 31 and 5. "As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem."
Yep. As birds flying, we already know birds fly in a V formation. It says he will
Isaiah
defend.
31 and 5. "As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem."
Yeah, we already know the birds, how we read earlier, fly in a V formation. This is
It says, "So will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it."
he will defend Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place. So I was talking about us. And it said he will what?
It says, "Defending also he will deliver it."
Yeah, he will deliver it, man. The Most High, how Bashim Yashai is going to deliver us, man. And that's really how we're going to receive our salvation, through the chariots. Those are the vehicles of our salvation.
It says, "And passing over he will preserve it."
Yeah.
I got something about that. It says, Isaiah 26 and 20, "Come, my people, enter thou unto thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed.
Yep.
So that's when the Lord's going to save the elect in the 1/3 with the chariots. We're going to see this whole place get destroyed.
Right. Read it again, Art.
Isaiah 26:20, come my people, enter thou unto thy chambers.
Yeah, the people of the Lord are the Israelites, man. So-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans.
That's right.
But the only ones predestined for salvation is the 1/3, man. With the election being the government body, man. Go ahead, bro.
And shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment.
When it say enter into that.
It's Isaiah 26:20, come my people, enter thou unto thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee.
The chambers are talking about the chariots, so-called UFOs. My people, obviously that's the nation of Israel. That's us. Go ahead.
Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed.
Yep, the indignation, the nuclear missiles, you know, because that's you know, when the missiles hit, the elect that made it through all the martial law and everything, the famine and everything that went down, we're going to be beamed up into the chariots right before the missiles hit. So that's going to save us, protect us from that nuclear fire. So it says till my indignation pass? So till it's over, you know?
Let me get the next verse.
Come on.
This is on verse 21. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity.
What's his place, man? Spiritual realm.
Spiritually? Sodom?
Nah, I'm saying the Lord's place right now. Damn, I can't. What's the third heaven? Yeah, I can't. The word ain't coming to my head. It ain't coming to my mind.
The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, jumping back to Luke 21, and do you want me to just read from 27?
Luke 21. Come on, just read 27.
And then I'm going to jump to 28. And it says, and then shall, Luke 21 and 27, and then they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Verse 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Yeah, when you look up, you see the chariots, man. That's your salvation if you're part of the elect, you know, or the 1/3, you know. And that also, verse 20, what was it? Verse 27 is exactly what the brother read in Revelation 1 and 7. You know, the Lord, the Yahweh coming back with clouds, with his chariots.
That's right.
Read that in Isaiah 26 and 20 again, bro.
This is Isaiah 26:20. Come my people, enter thou unto thy chambers, and shut thy door about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed.
And then we're gonna get into the scripture, you know, to get the full detail of what, you know, about that. Basically, it's talking about, you know, us being beamed up into the chariots, you know, the chambers. You know, just like how basically this is would you consider the second ark? Because the first ark was with Noah. You know, in the times of Noah, he built a ship, you know, and then the second time, you know, the second
second death,
deliverance. Or the second death that's about to take place, the only way we're going to be able to, you know, be able to be delivered is through a chariot, which the brother just, you know, we just read the scripture that describes the chariot as being a chamber, basically a vehicle, okay? This is a precept. This is 1 Thessalonians 4, and I'm going to start 16. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. And that's not about Yahweh when he comes back, you know, his second coming. With the voice of an archangel and with the trump of the heavenly Father, and the dead in Yahweh shall rise first.
Yeah.
You know, so the brothers that died in this truth, basically, those brothers are gonna be the first ones to be risen. You know, the first ones to get beamed up.
Right.
Okay, so all the men that died before us, like start with Abba Bibians, you know, King Masha, you know, Elder Yaquab, and all the brothers that, you know, died in this truth. They're going to be the first ones to be beamed up or raised. And it says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds and the chariots. You know, we just read in Psalms 104 and 3 that the clouds are the chariots of the Heavenly Father, man. And then it's talking about the when America gets destroyed. Okay, why else would a chariot serve? You know, especially in this time, it would make sense that we'll be talking about in America, man. Because America is gonna get utterly destroyed. Okay, America's gonna get hit so bad that the entire earth is gonna shake. Okay, and the only way to be delivered out of that is to a chariot. Okay.
Because America is gonna be that's why it's the lake of fire. You know, you can't escape it any other way but in a chariot.
That's right.
Even if you're a pilot and you got your own plane, you can't escape that shit. It's nuclear fire. You can't escape it. Only the chariots can withstand nuclear fire.
And I remember I was reading this article. Basically, Esau was breaking down the nuclear missile. Basically, what he was saying is when the nuclear missile detonates, what it does is, it shoots out into a shockwave, but then it turns into like a vacuum. So basically, Mexico's gonna get fucked up, Canada's gonna get fucked up. So it's gonna get so bad that not only is America gonna get destroyed, but the neighbors too.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, because Esau, the bombs that Esau dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they're not as strong as the missiles today. Because that scripture where I created the smith to blow up on the coast, those missiles is getting augmented and getting more powerful, with this technology nowadays, man. So there's no other, other way. We got, we're gonna leave, man. We gotta get beamed up.
I'll hold that. Oh, yeah, can I finish this real quick? Verse 17, it says, "Then we which are alive, the brothers that are remain to the end, and remain shall be caught up together with them, with Yahushua in the chariots."
Caught up together, beamed up. Beamed up. Beam me up, Scotty.
Like you see in the sci-fi movies when there's a UFO and it's beaming somebody up, that's exactly how it's gonna look.
That's right.
It says, "And we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we be so shall we ever be with the Lord." And it says, "Wherefore comfort one another with these words." And that's the reason why we're going into this topic. To explain to the brothers that are in this faith, that our reward if we endure to the end is to get delivered and not taste of that second death. Okay, that's the reason why we're laboring. It's the Lord willing to guarantee ourselves a seat in the chariots.
That's right.
Okay, because man, the Lord's the Lord is terrible, man. One of the worst ways to go out is to be destroyed by the nuclear fire, man.
You're gonna feel your skin and your muscle, everything melt off your bones. Even your bones are gonna melt.
Yep. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 12. "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them."
Yeah, man. So we're gonna hear a voice, man, in the Shemayim, in the heavens, man, in the Hebrew tongue.
That's right.
Beaming up the elect. Okay. Through a way of the chariots.
And it said their enemies beheld them, because these other nations are gonna witness this, man. Wisdom of Psalm 5, man. They're gonna witness the strangeness of our salvation, and they're gonna bug out.
It's Acts 1:9. "And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel."
Yeah, those two men are talking about angels, and the he that was taken up is Yahushua. Okay, and the cloud obviously is the chariots, so-called UFO.
It says, "Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven."
Yep. So the angels told him, man, like pretty much, what are you looking at, man? The way you see him leave is exactly how he's gonna come back in chariots, which links up with what the brother read in Revelation 1:7 and plenty of other scriptures. So that's how Yahushua is coming back. He's coming back with a force,
That's right.
with angels and the chariots.
That's right.
I got another piece of bro. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come up out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues."
Yep. And that's not talking about come up out of her like flee the country. There's a lot of camps that say that to flee this place, and that's not how it works. If you really do that, you have no faith, and really the Lord's gonna get you if you flee. you're gonna end up dying some other type of way, if not by nuclear fire.
Where you gonna flee to, man?
Yeah.
You know? I got a quick one to back up what you're saying, bro, because Lord said He's gonna save us out of Babylon. This is a lot. This is Micah 4 and 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. But now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemy. So the Lord gonna deliver us out of Babylon now, which is speaking about America. You know, so we don't need to hop on a plane and go nowhere, man. You know, we have faith that the Lord will beam us up, man.
That's right.
You know, and deliver us out of this tribulation, man. And we want to see it, man. We want to see people get fucked up, man.
That's right.
You know, Lord willing, we make it to the end. We want to see the movie of the Lord play out, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I got something. It's Psalms 91 and 14. And it says, oh, you had it, bro?
Yeah.
You can read.
All right.
Nah, bro, start at the top, bro.
All right.
It's a lot. That's a bad chapter, bro.
Psalm 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
The secret place of the Most High is talking about this truth, man. It's knowledge, man. Go ahead.
It says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge. It says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
Yeah,
The snare-
go ahead.
I was gonna say the snare of the fowler is talking about Esau.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the fowler, and the noise and pestilence is talking about the ICBM missiles. Go ahead.
It says, He shall cover thee with His feathers,
And the feathers is talking about the chariots.
right?
Yep. Go ahead.
And under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Yeah.
Thou
Shit
sh-
under His wings, so because man, since the Lord gonna do His thing when the shit go down, the Lord might guide you somewhere through a chariot, man.
in the V formation.
Just like in the time of Yahweh's birth, those men were following that star. That star was a chariot, man.
The wise one.
Just like the Lord will guide you somewhere, man.
Hey, just like hey, they call it I think it's called Saint Elmo's fire. In the records it says that a chariot was guiding Christopher Columbus over here. You know, showing you that he was a devil, but that was to fulfill the Lord's purpose, to fulfill prophecy.
Right.
You know, so guidance right there. You know, by way of a chariot. It says, I'm gonna read it again. It says, He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
That's talking about the missiles.
It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
I mean, a lot of people are gonna die, man.
A lot of people.
Go ahead.
But it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when we in the chariots, when we receive salvation, because that's when you can say you're saved, man. When you in the ship with your house side, that's when only with our eyes will we see the judgment, man. We're gonna see with our eyes these people get hit by the missiles, man. You know?
It says, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is thy refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways.
Yeah. So His angels are protecting us, man.
Right.
You know, if we're part of the elect, we got angels encamped around us.
That's
That
right.
are watching over us.
Yeah. That's why we saw that chariot earlier, you know?
Each brother got an angel protecting him, man. And that's before the truth too, man.
It says, for He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against the stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's Yahweh,
right.
in the name of Yahushua. That's the name.
Right.
Okay,
right,
so
right.
you got to know that name to be delivered, man.
Yep.
To be kept safe from all these things that are going to come to pass.
Yeah, that's right, bro. And then I believe the Hebrew word for high right there is shagab, which means unreachable. So just like the fire is gonna go up high, we're gonna be unreachable. Okay, and it also means safety, because I got a precept to that. It said, this is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower; the righteous runneth into it and is safe. And safe is the same Hebrew word, shagab. Okay, because it means safe and unreachable. Okay,
That's right.
Hey, that's why because John saw the destruction. You know, basically, he wrote that the elect saw the fire mingled in glass. So basically, they were high up in the
fire.
Yeah, when he said he saw the glass mingled in fire, he was seeing the America be destroyed. You know, and they were at a high altitude to the way of chariots, man.
Right.
You know, so the chariots they're gonna have to take us high up in the Shemaiah, man, for that fire not to touch us.
That's right. Psalm 91, it says, verse 15, it says, "He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation."
Yeah, we got to work for our salvation, you know? And this is what we do with our lives. We try to satisfy the Most High. We try to do His will by waking up the elect, edifying brothers, because we want salvation, man. That's what we want.
Hey, bro, I got that quick freak. Revelation 15:1, it says, "And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Heavenly Father." And that's, referring to the nuclear destruction that's about to take place on America. And this is verse 2, and it says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire." Right, so basically John seen America be caught on fire. And it says, "And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Heavenly Father." So basically, John is writing about how the elect, the brothers that were delivered, the chosen men, 144 and the 1/3, they were beamed up, and they got to see the destruction, right? So they were the glass that would be referring to the firmament. So they were above the firmament, seeing the destruction of America. Okay, and like I said, the only way you can get up there is through the chariots, right?
Can you go to Psalm 68 and
13. This is Psalms chapter 68, verse 13.
This links up what we read in Psalms 91 about the feathers. Go ahead.
"Though ye have lain among the pots, Salakia, yet shall ye be as the wings."
Though ye have lain among the pots, talking about the low condition, we're in. Go ahead, bro.
"Yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold."
Yep, that's talking about the chariots, I just wanted to bring that up because that was a precept to Psalms, what we read in Psalms 91.
That's right.
About the feathers.
I got it. I got one for you, bro. This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall carry on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power." Yahweh Shem.
That's right. Go ahead, bro. You get it.
Yeah, because through the chariots, that's the way we're gonna get past through the fire, man. Because when the missiles is hitting and the chariots are beaming us up, it's gonna be happening simultaneously.
Anybody got any precept?
I got one dealing with Elijah.
Go on. 2 Kings.
It's the 2 Kings 2:9. "And it came to pass, when they were going over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me."
Because he wanted a double portion of the spirit, because he had spiritual powers. Whatever.
And he said, "Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so." And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Now, that's another name for the chariots, man, a whirlwind. Now, if you go to Isaiah 66:15, you got it? Go ahead, read it real quick, bro.
Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
That's self-explanatory. That's going into the return of Yahweh, man. You know, go ahead.
For by fire and by sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
By fire and by sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, man. I thought the Lord was all love, man. I thought the Lord came to gather everybody up and give them lollipops, man. Nah, the Lord is a man of war. He's going to come back and declare war on the beast, man. On the white man's power structure, man. You know, go ahead.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
The slain of the Lord shall be many, man. You know?
Hey, but real quick, like going back on what Apostle Gavar is always bringing out, you know, the chariots, they serve two purposes. You know, mainly it's salvation for the elect and the 1/3, and then the second mission they have is to destroy the wicked, man. You know, destroy all the wicked ass people of our nation and the rest of the nation, man. All right, because the Lord, hey, like the scriptures have said, the Lord's gonna come with his chariots with fire, man. They're gonna be zapping people, you know, dehydrating these fucking niggas, man.
Like they show in the movie War of the Worlds, when the chariots are just zapping people and they're turning into dust. That's exactly what's gonna happen, man.
Hey, bro, I got the prophecy on that. You really don't have this.
Go ahead.
This is Zechariah 5, and I'm gonna start at the first chapter. And it says, "Then I turned and lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe." You know, so basically, Zechariah saw a chariot.
Hey, because too, real quick, bro, so like that. Hey, because a chariot takes many forms, man. You see lights changing in different shapes, shape shifting. You know, you see a chariot do all kinds of different colors, man. You know, because the chariots run with the elements.
They could, you know, be small. They could be, you know, they could enlarge. It says, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe, or a chariot. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And it says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth all over the face of the whole earth." You know, so it's gonna be a curse to the wicked ass people, man. Why? Because they're gonna come and zap you. You know, they're gonna come and kill you people.
Sorry, what you Edomite.
Hell yeah, right. You know, it's gonna be Edomite hunting scene real soon. It says, "Then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth all over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side."
Like this is for everyone that stealeth, and who's the biggest thief in the world, man? It's Esau.
That's right.
It says, "According to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on that side, according to it." It says, "And I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts." Meaning he's going to bring the chariots over here to America, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. You know, primarily where this fucking cracker inhabits, which is America. Okay, this is his basically his capital, the capital of his wicked ass kingdom. And it says, "And it shall enter into the house of the thief," you know, America, "and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof." And so basically, the chariots they're gonna get busy, man. They're gonna be zapping people, destroying buildings, you know.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. 2nd Ezra chapter. Yo, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to call for that too. Start us. Okay, sir.
It's 2nd Ezra 13:1. "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof.
And that sea is talking about outer space.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
And that man is Yahushua, thousands of heaven, his angels.
And he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him."
Yeah, that goes with what the brother read earlier in Revelation 1 and 7, how all kindreds of the earth shall well because of him. Go ahead, bro.
"And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice."
Yep, the voice is talking about the laser beam from the chariots. They're gonna burn everybody, man. All the wicked, not everybody, but you know,
Like
from a lot of people.
Like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after,
real quick, you know, because I have this preset that basically breaks down the beam, you know, as a ray of light. And this is this is Habakkuk 3, and I'm gonna start at 3. And it says, "The Most High came from Teman, and the holy, and the holy on from Mount Paran Salah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of His praise." You know, that's referring to the chariots. You know, His glory, and His brightness was as the light. Right? They're talking about the chariots, and it says He had horns coming out of His hand. And when you go into the Hebrew word, which I forgot what the Hebrew word is, but it says right here, it says bright beams out of His sight, meaning, you know, in other words, a ray of lights, you know, laser beams.
And Salak, just real quick, because earlier I said I used to take art history. I remember when they showed statues of Moses, they had horns on his head, but that was because it was a misinterpretation. For horn, it meant rays of light.
Oh.
You know, that's further proof. That's what it is.
It says, and His brightness was as the light. He had horns, or you know, I'm gonna read it how it should be read. And He had beams out of His hand, meaning coming out of the chariot. And there was the hiding of His power. Before Him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at His feet. You know, so He was fucking burning shit up. He stood and measured the earth, and beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting.
And those mountains and hills, He's talking about the different nations and governments. They're getting fucked up.
You can jump back on that.
Yeah, because in 13 is going to go to the laser too.
Second Esdras 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven.
The multitude of men is talking about the different militaries, like the Russian military, the U.S. military, you know, NATO, EU, all that.
To subdue the man that came out to sea.
So it says they try to subdue the man that came out of the sea, which is, like I said, the sea is outer space, and the man is Yahushai, because Yahushai is going to come from outer space with the chariots, and they're going to try to fight against them.
And that's the same thing that John saw. The so-called John the Revelator, he saw the same thing. He said it's a war in heaven.
Yep. Hey, bro.
Satan and his angels.
No, and it says it in Revelation. It said that the beast made war with the lamb. That's basically right here, you know. Basically, this scripture is telling you that the beast is talking about an army. You know, it's not talking about a literal beast.
Yeah.
So when it says right here, you know, a multitude of men, it's basically the same thing as the beast.
Because even that's a lot. Go ahead.
No, basically, you know, in Revelation, the army is referred to as a beast.
Because even though Russia and America are going to be fighting against each other, everybody's going to unite to fight against the Most High, and they're going to fail miserably. But anyways, that also reminds me of, was it Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
That said pretty much, what would we do? Roughly paraphrasing, pretty much if an outside force, like what an extraterrestrial force came, he said, wouldn't we all unite and fight against it? So that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's right, bro.
Can I read it real quick? So, this is Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fight against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. You devils aren't gonna prevail, man.
That's right.
Your end is already written, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to fight against the Lord, you're not gonna prevail. You know, but the Lord gonna put the Spirit on you to fight. And prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud, that's it.
This is back 2nd Ezra 13 and 6. But I beheld,
You can read verse 5 again.
okay, come. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had engraved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it.
And that great mountain is talking about his chariot. It says a great mountain because it was huge. And really, chariots, they're not always like in a type of plate. They come in different shapes and sizes, you know.
Yeah.
They and different. They can even transform.
That's gonna be the so-called mothership.
Yeah, that's gonna be the so-called fathership. You know, not mothership, but fathership.
Hey, because a good to get a good vision of this chapter, just watch Independence Day.
Yeah.
You know, just how that big ass chariot came
Blocking the
over
sun.
New York.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the Lord's gonna come back. You know, because he saw, you know, he gets all his ideas from the scriptures. So, you know, this devil, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, he gave us a visual on how the Lord's going to roll up on his ass.
Yeah, he gave us the visual, but we gave him the visual first with the scriptures, you know? Go ahead.
But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet
Slakia says, but I would, can you read it again at 7, bro?
But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not.
So, I mean, it was so huge, you couldn't really see how big it was. It was so big, you know, like, your vision can't really handle how big that thing is, you know? Like
you're going to see the end of it.
Yeah, like if I'm trying to see how far I can see land for it, but I can't because it's so fucking long. That's exactly how the chariot's gonna be. Go ahead.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
Yep, everyone's gonna be afraid because you can't fight against the chariots. But it says, but they durst fight because the Most High is gonna make them fight. Go ahead, bro.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
And that blast of fire, that concentrated fire that's coming out of the chariots.
Yep. And a good visual for that is that movie World of Worlds. You know, in the beginning where the chariots are turning people into dust with the laser beams, you know?
Or even Independence Day when they're all up on the building and the thing opens up, the mouth, and then that blast just comes and destroys them.
And then they show in the old War of the Worlds, War of the Worlds. They show that too with the chariots beam and everything, and then they show an image, a dark image of Yahweh, man. Yeah. So they subliminally showing you when Yahweh return, this is what's going to take place, man.
And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke.
So all these people in the army, you're all gonna turn into dust, man. When Yahushua comes back, he's gonna turn you on to dust. You have no chance against him, you know.
Well, this, you know, basically what this chapter is going into is the Lord entering World War III, and then basically taking out all the nations in one blow.
And that's gonna be what do they say, like a game changer, like that, the unexpected conclusion. Like when you watch the movie and it just changes all of a sudden.
The twist ending
is gonna come back and fuck everybody up.
The alternate ending.
Yep.
I got a quick pre. It's 2 Ezra 16 and 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence.
Man, beaten to powder, like they show you in what we said, World of Worlds. They were turning into dust, into powder.
Yep. Hey, how's the Lord gonna do that? How is he gonna beat you into powder? Well, he's gonna use concentrated fire to just, you know, take all the water out of your body, man, and just convert you to dust.
If I could say this, during the World of Worlds, the one with I think it was Tom Cruise or something. That one, when the lightning started striking the earth, he picked up a piece of rock that was stricken by the lightning from the chariots. When he picks it up, he says, "Ah, damn, that's cold." It wasn't hot. It was like super. It was too damn hot that it was cold.
Hey, but we can start wrapping it up, bro.
I got that.
Which one?
1 Thessalonians.
Go ahead, bro. You could expound on it too.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2. And it says, For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. You know, scripture just said it. Day of the Lord is going to come unexpectedly. You could just be, I don't know, doing your wickedness. And then next thing you know, you have thousands of chariots coming out of the skies. Right?
It's going to be a sight to see. Hey, we got to get Wisdom of Solomon, man.
Yeah.
Hey, go on.
You're going to be shitting yourself because you're not going to know what's going on.
Sorry.
Going on to verse 3, and it says, For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You know, so you got your church pastors and all these false prophets out there prophesying peace and safety. There's not going to be any peace and safety during that time, man. You know, the destruction is going to be so great, you're going to be screaming like a woman when she's going through labor pains.
Yeah.
And it says, and they shall not escape. So ain't nobody going to escape this unless you're part of the elect.
That's right.
You want it, bro?
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor.
Esau afflicted us the most. He made no account for our labors, you know. Who built up America? The so-called Black and Latino America.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Yeah, they said they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, because there's never been a salvation like that before.
Right.
It's gonna be greater than the salvation in the Exodus, you know.
Yeah. It says that no longer will it be spoken about the deliverance of the Exodus, but how we were delivered from the North Country.
Yeah.
Land of the North.
So, and they're gonna be shitting their pants, man, because like, man, they're gonna say like, these Latinos, these you know, these Morenos, man, these Native Americans are the chosen, man. Like, they're gonna be tripping out. He says, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom he had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach.
Yeah, because we're a proverb of reproach to these people, you know. These people mock us, talk shit. We ain't shit to these people, you know. But really, we are. We're Yasharala, you know. We're a prince of the Most High. So they're gonna be, like I said, amazed, man, when we receive that salvation. If we're part of the elect, that's gonna be amazing. Even we're gonna be amazed, you know.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got, bro?
Come on, bro. That's it.
Okay.
With that, you know, hope the lesson was edifying, and you know, shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.